Keith, obviously a lot of excitement in Toronto right now around the revival of the Blue Jays, who have gone from, more than half a dozen games out of the American League East lead into the lead by 2.5 over the Yankees as it sits today. When you look at the Blue Jays and you look at the East, I mean, how do you think the Jays should approach the July 31st trade deadline?
I think they have to be buyers. I look at them as they've gotten a bit lucky. They are not the best team on paper. I don't project them to have the best records for the rest of the season of the teams in that division. But it also doesn't really matter how you got here. Like, those wins count. I could argue all day that I think it was a little fluky. It does not matter. They are contenders. By definition, where they are in the standings right now, they're contenders. So they need to buy. And I think they're a little hamstrung by the fact that the system is pretty top-heavy. There are 3 or 4 really good prospects and then not a ton of depth beyond that. So I don't know that they can make a major acquisition. But so what? Go make the minor acquisitions. Go figure out what weaknesses you think you can address through the trade market. It's probably the bullpen. It's usually the easiest thing to do when you don't have a lot of prospects to trade and aren't willing to take on a ton of salary. Also, looking at the trade market this year, I think that's probably the biggest thing that's going to move is relievers. Relievers and maybe some platoon players for the bench. I don't know that we're going to see, like, Paul Skeens is not getting traded. I feel like we're making that up on the media side, right? It just because it'll get clicks, that's for sure. But I was asked about this the other day, and I was like, I don't believe it. He's money. He's literally money. They print money the days he pitches. Why would they trade him now? It's going to be lesser pieces, but those guys can really matter. The Phillies, I think, have done an excellent job the last couple of years, just picking up guys at the trade deadline who make an impact for them in the stretch run or even in October.
So how much of what the Jays achieved in that 10-game winning streak sort of changed your opinion, or is, I guess maybe the better way to say it is, sustainable in the second half?
So any team, any stretch that short, 2 weeks basically, is not going to change my overall opinion. I'm looking much more at the entire body of work for the whole season. Unless you tell me something's dramatically changed on the roster, right? If somebody's been hurt for 3 months and comes back, and we can say, okay, they're a different team now because they got a couple of key contributors back. I don't feel like that's the case with Toronto. I think this is a team that should be a little bit above 500. They're obviously quite a bit above 500. Looking at just what their offense has done so far this year, what their run prevention has been like this year. But that said, you've already got those wins in the bank. If if they say, look, we think our run prevention is the easiest thing to upgrade, right? I'm repeating myself a little bit. I apologize, but they need to approach the trade deadline with the attitude that we are contenders. We want to make this sustainable. What can you do to upgrade the roster to make it more sustainable? Score more runs, prevent more runs, whatever the market is able to give you. Because, like I said, they should be probably a few wins worse than they are, but no one is knocking at their door to make them give those wins back either.